All right, so I'm not entirely sure how I feel about these two chapters. I mean, it was a great thing we got two fairy tale chapters this week. I liked that. It was quite nice to couple that with the two One Punch Man chapters we got. Even though One Punch Man had kind of half a chapter piled onto the actual chapter, but this fairy tale does a good job of being consistent in failure. It's man, I'll just talk about exactly what happened so that you guys know. Well, this is a review, so you possibly already know what happened. But let's just go through it. There were two chapters: Fairy Tale 532, I Can No Longer See Love, and Fairy Tale 533, Zeref the White Wizard. So let's just go through it. I mean, there were some major shit storms going on in this chapter, in both chapters. So the first thing that we kind of learn, but actually no, let's talk about the intro first. The intro in 532 was Zeref and Mavis kind of hugging it out, and then there's like all these other shippings from the actual manga. It's Lucy and Natsu. We get Laxus and Mira Jane, Gray and Juvia, all that shit. Happy, was it Happy? I don't even know, man. That's going a little too far, I think. But as soon as I saw that, I knew we were in for a shitstorm. I was like, when a chapter starts like that, when a fairy tale chapter starts like that, you know you're in for a pile of shit, and that's exactly what we got. So the first thing we learn in this chapter is that Mavis is the biggest idiot you will have ever seen in any manga, in any anime, in any story. She's stupid. She's stupid as shit. Okay. Now her title is the Great Fairy Tactician. Tactician, my ass. This chick knows nothing. All right. So Zeref and Natsu are fighting it out. We finally got to see Zeref going to Dragon Force. We're gonna see him kick some ass. He's gonna kick the shit out of Zeref, or they're gonna have like an even fight, and it's gonna be amazing. So what happens? They're about to pummel each other, and Mavis steps in the way. What the fuck are you doing, bitch? Get the hell out of there. So, oh my god. But then she continues and she's like, yeah, don't I need you to step down for a second. She's talking to Natsu. She's like, I need you to step down for a second. I'm gonna try and talk it out with Zeref, as if it hasn't already, as if we haven't already gone past that point. We're in freaking war. This is the end of the war, and I want to talk with him now. And she says to him that I can free you from your immortality. I know a way to defeat you, and that's how I want to kind of free you from your immortality. And we learned that this is another thing we learned straight from that. So apart from Mavis being an idiot, we learn why Zera fears Acnologia so much. It's actually because of his immortality. It's not so much Acnologia in and of himself, but it's because Zeref himself is immortal. So he knows that no matter what Acnologia does to him, no matter how badly he tortures him, he's always going to be alive. He's not going to die. So he's going to always have to wake up to another day of torture with Acnologia. So that's why he's so afraid of Acnologia, because he knows Acnologia is more powerful than him, and he knows he can't do anything to stop him if he's the only person left alive, and Acnologia is just going to play around with him. So that's why he fears Acnologia so much. So then what happens is, because Mavis is such an idiot, instead of telling Zeref, I can help you from like about 20 meters away, from behind Natsu, she should have done it next to Natsu. But instead of that, what she decides to do is go right up to Zeref and be like, I can help your ass. And Zeref's like, bitch, I don't need your help. So what he does is he absorbs Mavis's magic power in the span of like a few seconds. And the thing that a lot of people in the manga stream comments had an issue with, and it's a fine point, it's a valid point, it's a good point, is why didn't he do this freaking before, instead of all that Eileen shit where they were trying to like put her magic into a freaking zip file or some shit. I don't know what they were trying to do, but he should have done this before. He should have just grabbed her ass and been like, okay, I'm gonna take back my magic power, them's mines. So I don't understand why he didn't just do that. He's wasted a lot of time, a lot of people. This whole Spriggan 12 have been one-shotted in that time, and he could have just grabbed her. She was one of the first few people he freaking came in contact with, so he should have just taken her power then and there. It's a stupid plot point. I seriously don't understand why he didn't do it back then. But let's continue, because there's a lot more to get into. So then we kind of divert. The Christina crew is still evading Acnologia somehow. Anna says she'll open the ravines because she's a celestial mage, or she used to be a celestial mage. How? How the hell is she gonna open it up? I mean, I understand that she's researched it. She's spent a lot of time looking at it and stuff. But so far, she's shown us that she knows jack and shit about the actual ravines of time, because she couldn't even tell that the thing was sealed. So what the hell was she looking at all the time? What was she investigating or observing something that wasn't doing what it does in its natural state? She probably doesn't have that much knowledge about it. She knows jack shit about it, and she thinks she's going to open it. And technically she'll still need to, she says, I can open doors, I'm really good at opening doors, as kind of a metaphor, as I'm a celestial mage. But technically she'll still have to undo Zeref's seal around the freaking ravines of time. So it's not time that she'll be, because as a celestial mage, she's good at opening rifts and doorways between time and space. But there's a seal around that thing that opens time and space. So she'll have to get through that first, and she shouldn't be powerful enough to get through it. But seeing as Anna said it, I smell bullshit in the future, and she's probably gonna open it somehow. Or Zeref will hopefully just die. That would be the good way to open the ravines of time. So then Acnologia actually catches up. What a twist. That was the best part of the chapter. Acnologia actually catches up to the Christina, and he blows a hole in it. And Jelal's all like, oh shit, yeah, I'm gonna buy you some time while you guys deal with the ravines of time. So Gerard, or Jelal, is gonna try and fend off Acnologia for a bit. Now this is going to be even more bullshit, because Jelal should get one-shotted by Acnologia. Acnologia has been hyped up. The reason why the whole fandom is so hyped up on Acnologia is because he has been hyped up. My man took on Igneel. No one has been able to do that apart from Acnologia. He can take on freaking Dragon Slayers like they're nothing. He took on Gildots like he was nothing. So this guy Jelal shouldn't be able to take on Acnologia for any amount of time. That's just bullshit. Hopefully what he'll do is he'll piss him off somehow and just run like a bitch. That's the best plan Jelal should have. So then we come back and we learn Zeref's plan again. He's reiterated this a few times now. And the plan is he's going to erase the current timeline, like completely erase it. He's going to go back in time and start over from 400 years ago. Okay? He's going to have his cute brother back. He's going to have his family back. But also Acnologia will be at a point before he gained his strength. So what Zeref wants to do is him and Natsu will go and kick the shit out of Acnologia and prevent him from ever having been as powerful as he is right now. Now a person called Zaius on MangaStream, Xias. Okay, my heat has just come back on. Okay, so Zaius on MangaStream says that Zeref, this is a really good point by the way, I thought of this straight away and then I saw someone in the comments, I was like, this guy needs to be shouted out. But Zeref was originally cursed for trying to resurrect someone, right? For trying to resurrect one person, for interfering with life and death, for someone's fixed life and fixed death, alright? That's why he was cursed with, Ankh-Sharam's curse or whatever it's called. Now he's trying to erase 400 years of time, 400 years of occurrence, or whatever you want to call it, 400 years of time, and in that process he'll prevent millions of people from ever having lived and all their futures from ever having occurring. So he'll be once again trying to get rid of things which are fixed and things which have already occurred. Someone doesn't learn very well, so he's gonna redo himself over and screw himself over in another way. They're probably gonna give him like the inability to jizz or something, the inability to jerk off, I don't know. But I mean, if he got cursed like he has been just for trying to resurrect Natsu, and now he's trying to do this, the guy's a bit stupid. He's a bit, he needs to think about what he's doing. So that was a good point by Zaius. A good point to make on the MangaStream comments. So then the first Hokage, the first guild master, Mavis, collapses and Zeref gains infinite magic, Fairy Heart. So then he's become this like freaking white mage looking ass dude. He looks very similar to he's kind of similar, I suppose, to how Aizen looked like in his complete form, but not that similar. So then the biggest questions for that part are, why didn't Mavis ever use freaking Fairy Heart? I mean, if Mavis had used Fairy Heart, I mean, it could have helped in, I don't know, fighting Zeref for this entire war. Why the hell hasn't she used Fairy Heart? And it's going to be some stupid shit like she doesn't know how to use her own magic. And it's like, bitch, why does she have that magic then? Why hasn't she learned to do it? How can Zeref use it so quickly? I mean, I understand that he gave her his magic, and now he's taking it back, but if he'd had it first, why didn't he just create the Neo Eclipse back then and go back in time then? Because he's just reclaimed what was already his. He's just waited on freaking Natsu and Mavis all these 400 years, and he's He could have just done it himself in the beginning. I don't know. Stupid ass guy. So that chapter in and of itself was a bit of a shitstorm. I gave it like a 6 out of 10. I mean, it was, there were parts of it which were enjoyable to read, but the actual story was shit. The actual story is really bad. So then we come to chapter 533, where not much actually happened. It's called Zeref the White Wizard, and we learn from Lucy that the book END, all that shit it was spewing out, all the characters and stuff, it was all part of a super advanced body link magic. So Natsu and the book are linked. We already know this. But then she says one of the most stupid things I've ever heard of in my life. She says, so the book and Natsu are connected, and she actually says this, right? She says, there must be a page that exists for the purpose of saving Natsu somewhere. What the fuck? What the shit? Who would logically come to that conclusion? There's a book that's linked to Natsu, and there's got to be a page in there that'll save him. What? How does that even make any... Man... It's the biggest bullshit in the world. I don't know how that makes sense. It probably makes sense to one of you guys out there. So please explain it to me. How the frick did you come to that conclusion? How the frick did they come to that conclusion? What am I missing out on? Because she looks like she knows what she's talking about, but she obviously doesn't. I don't know if I'm wrong, but oh my god. From my perspective, that's the biggest bullshit ever. I mean, how should there be a page in there that saved Natsu? And the other thing is they're saying that they want to rewrite part of it and try and save Natsu that way. But then that means if anyone had ever gotten hold of that book and they'd written shit in it and it had come true, Natsu would have been like, he would have been a goat or some shit. They would have, anything that someone had written in there would have come true or anything like that. So I don't know. They can't just simply rewrite it. Zeref must have had kind of barriers put in place so that things like that didn't happen. It's his freaking younger brother that he was trying to resurrect for ages. It's not going to be that easy. So there was a certain degree of bullshit there as well. So then Natsu, we go back to Natsu, uses his most powerful move in Dragon Force, called the Blaze Dragon King's Demolition Fist. Now the first time we saw this, it looked awesome. This time around it looked awesome. I think it's going to be my thumbnail. And he annihilates Zeref on one entire side of the guild, and it absolutely blows it away. I like that part. That was pretty cool. But then Zeref and the guild kind of reform in that kind of arc of time reversal kind of thing. And Zeref is, we see from this that Zeref is in actual control of time and space. So that was nice as well. I like that. So Zeref does indeed have infinite magic, but we know that Acnologia is the magic dragon, right? So if Zeref has infinite magic, Acnologia is the magic dragon, what would happen if they fought each other? That would be freaking intense, because Acnologia would probably get damaged. Because Zeref seems to be basically invulnerable and immortal at this moment in time. But Acnologia would just constantly be able to revitalize himself, eating freaking Zeref's magic. And his magic wouldn't harm Acnologia, because Acnologia is the magic dragon. So I'd pay to see that. That would be some good shit. I'd actually really like to see that. So then Natsu gets punched through the chest, much like how Ulquiorra fired a Sero through Ichigo. Natsu just gets punched through the chest by Zeref. He dies while being told that Makarov is dead, and that's how it ends. So actually, of the two chapters, that was probably the better one. I'd give that a 7. Not much actually happened. We saw Natsu die, but the thing is, it doesn't have an impact. Any fairy tale character that dies now doesn't really have an impact, because we know they're coming back. Natsu's not going to die. The next chapter is called Door of Vows or something. Doors of Vows. I've got no idea what it's going to be about. It's probably going to be about the ravines of time, seeing as doors, you know, Anna saying she was going to open the doors. It's probably going to have something to do with Jelal and Acnologia, all those types of guys, the Christina crew. But Natsu is most definitely going to come back, probably because of Lucy and the Book of END. She's probably going to rewrite some shit and be like, oh, I found the page that'll save him that for some reason is in this book. I don't know why. You know, I just really don't like that idea of there's got to be a page in this book that exists for the sole purpose of saving Natsu. Like, who would even come to that conclusion? Like, if I found a book that was freaking connected to someone's life, the first thing I think when they were in trouble wouldn't be, there's got to be a page in this book that's going to save them. How the frick? That one part actually lowers this chapter's grade to a 5. I'm not... Nah, man, that's bullshit. I'll see you guys in a bit. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit, and I'll see you guys later. Yeah.